Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 21, Broken Dreams. Black. The boundless black, like the endless void, seems to be able to arouse the deepest fear in people's hearts. I really didn't expect you to find this place. You are indeed a difficult person in the mouth of Kibutsuji Muzan. The voice of Nightmare with a playful smile gradually appeared beside Heiyuming, causing endless ripples. And his figure appeared in front of Heiyuming while applauding. Is this your spiritual core? It's really ugly. Seeing a small ball exuding a strange aura hovering beside Enmu, surrounded by countless ominous auras, one does not need to think about it to know that this dark thing is the spiritual core of Enmu. Each person's spiritual core and surrounding subconscious environment are symbols of his innermost thoughts. At this time, the only thing Heiyuming could feel from the spiritual core of Enmu in front of him was the endless nausea. This ghost had already started to rot from the deepest part of his heart. Don't say that, I will be sad. Enmu wiped the corners of his eyes pretending to be sad, and then the corners of his mouth slightly turned up. However, it's really beyond my expectation that you can come here, but this is also your biggest challenge, failure. Because, this is my dreamland. With the sound of Enmu ending, the environment around Heiyuming changed drastically instantly, and the boundless black mist seemed to appear out of thin air, instantly surrounding Heiyuming. However, Heiyuming didn't panic at all. Instead, he closed his eyes and said to himself, really? But I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry now, so please die first. How is it possible? What have you done? Obviously, it should be Enmu's home field, but at this moment, he feels that he is bound by a strong pressure, and he has no way to move for a moment. And Heiyuming, who should have been easily eroded by the black mist produced by his dream, did not suffer any damage at this time, but stood in it intact. No. Where did that bastard go? In a split second, Enmu was completely panicked. He has the ability to dominate his own dreams, since he can't find Heiyuming, who was originally shrouded in black mist. The unknown fear instantly filled his heart. Not good, very bad, this person has a problem. Let me wake up, or I will die, I will die. Something happened that made Enmu completely desperate. He found that he had completely lost control of his dreams. In other words, the current him, like those under his control, has no other way to escape the control of the dream except suicide. Are you looking for me? Did you find that you suddenly couldn't control your dreams? Heiyuming's voice gradually came from his ears. What on earth have you done? Enmu cried out in despair. He knew that he might have kicked the iron plate this time. You can save this kind of boring question and ask Hades, of course, if he still accepts you. Heiyuming, who knew well that no matter whether he was a decent guy or a villain, would have accidents and die from talking too much, he naturally didn't talk nonsense with Enmu. He held his hand towards the void, and a long sword burning with purple flames appeared in his hand instantly. Boom! With the seemingly inadvertent slash, the black spiritual core beside Enmu was instantly full of cracks. With a crisp sound, it turned into powder and disappeared into the black space. Disappeared with him was Enmu, who was bound and unable to move. This poor little guy never figured out how he was killed by Heiyuming until his death. A guy who only knows how to use blood ghosts, how can he be qualified to truly understand the core of illusion? The red eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan in Heiyuming's eyes gradually receded. The surrounding environment is still filled with boundless black space. Enmu is still standing there, just like when he first saw Heiyuming, but his eyes have completely lost their luster, and the spiritual core beside him has also lost its luster. Still intact. A little brat who was crushed by a small illusion, dared to bark in front of me. Saying that, Heiyuming walked forward slowly, smashing the ugly spiritual core with a casual punch. Chapter 22. In Daniuzi village, outside the dilapidated wooden hut, dozens of dark-skinned, tall and mighty men were holding sticks and looking angrily into the house. Compared to the tired faces in the house with a relaxed and smiling face, the villagers outside the house are all holding the sticks in their hands tightly, with cold sweat dripping down their faces from time to time, and the veins on their arms are even more like rising up like blue dragons. They were obviously extremely nervous. However, if the situation remains stalemate like this, it is not a solution. Everyone, come on, he's only one person. I saw the roar of the villagers who took the lead, completely igniting the fuse of this war. Go, avenge the village chief. Isn't it just a ghost? Watch me beat you to death. Come on. Looking at the villagers coming from the shop, the smile on Tired's face grew stronger. It seems that you also like to fight, so let you fight for a while. Dozens of white silk threads flew out of Tired's hands in an instant, wrapping around a dozen or so villagers. Ah, why is my body out of my control? Goozy, why did you hit me? It's not me, my body is out of control, it must be this ghost. Almost in an instant, the originally uniformed team was instantly destroyed by the Tired blood ghost technique. The villagers who were controlled and the villagers who rushed up later became a ball in an instant. Seeing everyone wrestling together, the funny look in Tired eyes gradually receded, and his brows gradually frowned. Cut, it's boring. People are people, it's boring and noisy, you should all die. I saw a white spider silk like a horizontal iron wire, flashing a sharp luster and scratching towards the necks of all the villagers in an instant. A deadly sense of danger surged into everyone's hearts in an instant, and a look of despair gradually appeared in the eyes of the villagers. It's over, I'm going to die. Hey, call here. Suddenly an abrupt voice appeared in everyone's ears, and He Yumming, who was still in a coma before, stood up leisurely at this time. And the spider silk shot by Lei suddenly deviated from the original trajectory, passed by the villagers, and shot towards He Yumming in the opposite direction. What's going on here? Is it a vampire technique? Tired after hearing the sound of beating, his body seemed to be out of control. The only thought in his mind was that this voice was too beating, and his master had to be killed. When I came back to my senses, I thought about it again and found something weird. However, this has no effect on his plan. No one can take his attack head on. The strength of the spider silk he spit out has definitely surpassed that of ordinary metal. Although this vampire technique that can control human behavior is very strange, but it is absolutely impossible for this person to receive his attack head on. Boom! A loud sound resounded from the place where the silk thread collided with He Yumming, and the huge impact instantly raised the dust above the ground, blocking everyone's sight. HMPH, are you dead? The corners of Tired's mouth turned up slightly, but he didn't avoid it. What an idiot is not worthy of living in this world. However, just when everyone thought that He Yumming had died at Tired's hands, there was a sound in the smoke. Oh, it hurts so much, you little spider is so irritable, it seems that it is necessary to teach you a good lesson for your parents. As the smoke dissipated, He Yumming grinned and touched the bloodstains on his neck caused by Lei's attack, and soon the only trace of that attack disappeared on his neck. This is impossible. How could someone be able to take my attack? Tired eyes were full of astonishment and looked at He Yumming, but after listening to He Yumming's words, the whole person instantly became murderous as if a taboo switch had been turned on, and the veins on his forehead suddenly burst out. How dare you provoke me? Who is at the bottom of the string? I will make your death miserable. Isn't it amazing to play the strings? How do I remember that I accidentally killed one in the morning? Facing the tiredness of being furious, He Yumming raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Come and try. If he didn't get it wrong when he used the kaleidoscope Sharingan just now, besides Enmu, who he played into a vegetative state, there are still 3 ghosts ambushing around the village, and judging from the breath, they should also be among the bottom line. Jungcho just finished learning the breath of water and didn't have anyone to practice with. Unexpectedly, Kibutsuji Muzan sent him here. Kibutsuji Muzan is such a kind person. I haven't seen him for a long time and I can't help but want to give him a gift package for newbies. For the sake of how friendly he is, I will reward him with 2 more days of sunshine when we catch him in the future. Well, I'm such a nice guy. Chapter 23. In the usual noisy village, at this time, it was as if a static button had been pressed, revealing a strange feeling. In the middle of the village, as if being bombarded by shells, all the villagers who arrived stared at the 2 figures, one big and one small, standing in the middle without daring to take a breath. Die. I saw that he shot out tiredly, and the muscles in his hands instantly released and flung towards He Yumming. If you look carefully, you can find that what is attacking He Yumming are dozens of extremely hard spider threads. Different from just now, dozens of blood-red silk threads are like bullets, and instantly hit He Yumming's direction with an unstoppable force. The power contained in them is as different as the white silk threads just now. Get out of here. The surrounding villagers watched the blood-red silk thread approaching He Yumming's direction helplessly. They had no time to cry out and could only keep shouting in their hearts. But He Yumming looked at the silk thread flying fast, but there was no fluctuation in his eyes. Walking forward leisurely, as if strolling in the garden, he slapped his hand to the right as if casually, and actually slapped all the silk threads towards the direction of the palm. This is impossible. Seeing that the man in front of him turned his powerful blow into a weak attack like a joke with such a random blow, a look of astonishment appeared in Tired's eyes again, and then a look of madness appeared in his eyes again, and he slammed his palms together. Grip. In an instant, hundreds of red silk threads were like a cage, rushing towards Haeyuming like a net with extremely sharp luster. What a naughty child. Seeing the net-like silk threads rushing towards him, the corners of Haeyuming's mouth gradually curved upwards, and he clenched his hands in the air. Blood drops instantly seeped from Haeyuming's arms as if through delicate silk, and the precipitated blood also gradually, they converged into the shape of a knife in Haeyuming's hands. This is an idea he had after mastering water control. Since he can control all kinds of water, more than 90% of the blood is composed of water. Then he who can control water can also control blood, but this is entirely because there is no Nichiren blades. The hardness of the knife made of blood is too low, but now these low string fluttering boys are completely enough. Breath of blood 1 type blood destroying slash. I saw that the air in Haeyuming's mouth condensed into mist as if it had been compressed, and his feet were firmly planted on the ground in the shape of a horse. The powerful pressure instantly shattered the ground, and the right hand holding the knife instantly veins popped up, and a terrifying aura swept across the audience for a moment. Swish, clang, almost in an instant, the red blood light pierced through the net laid by Lei like lightning, so fast that even the sound of the sonic boom couldn't keep up. When everyone heard the sound of sword drawing and collision, the figure of Haeyuming had already appeared behind Tired. However, Lei seemed to be unaware of it and whispered in a low voice, "It's really a beautiful knife. It's so gorgeous that I've never seen it in my life. It's as beautiful as the fetters of family members. Let's go, your parents are still waiting for you." Haeyuming put the blood sword in his hand into his body, looked at Tired silently, and didn't know what he was thinking. "Really, thank you then." After a trace of liberation appeared in Tired's eyes, his body gradually turned into ashes starting from his neck, and gradually disappeared between the sky and the earth. "Maybe they didn't blame you from the beginning." Haeyuming seemed to be talking to himself and said towards the direction where Tiredness disappeared. In the dark, there seemed to be a couple holding their children and bowing in his direction, but they disappeared in the blink of an eye. "Okay, so where are the other 3 little mice?" Haeyuming opened his kaleidoscope Sharingan again, but found that one of the remaining 3 ghosts had approached Tanjiro and his party who had just woken up, while the other 2 had completely disappeared at this time. There are 2 possibilities. One is that the remaining 2 ghosts have escaped his detection range, and the other possibility is that the vampire technique in the remaining 2 ghosts has a means to prevent his detection. However, at this moment, Haeyuming keenly noticed that the old woman he met when he entered the village had gradually approached Nezuko. "You must know that all the old people in this village have been arrested and taken as prisoners, so how did this old woman appear here? There is a problem, there is definitely a problem. Nezuko, get out of the way." Realizing something was wrong, Haeyuming immediately yelled at Nezuko, but even so, it was too late. A ghost sprang out of the old woman's mouth in an instant, pressing its sharp nails on Nezuko's neck, and the mark of the next 3 in his right eye has completely exposed his identity to everyone's sight. Gia, if you don't want to have some strange scars on this beautiful lady, don't act irrationally." Seeing that Haeyuming finally stopped what he was doing, a smug smile appeared in the eyes of the third of the strings. "What's the use of being strong? You don't have to rely on me in the end." Gia. Watching Nezuko being held hostage, a tyrannical red light flashed in Haeyuming's eyes. "Don't blame me for not reminding you, you are courting death." Chapter 24. I can warn you not to move around. Gia. On the sick night of the 3rd episode, Haeyuming looked at him with a murderous look on his face, and the sick smile on his face became stronger. "What a beautiful girl, I really want to cut her blood vessels to see how sweet her blood is." Speaking of sick night, the long nails in Nezuko's neck unconsciously gripped even tighter, and 5 shallow bloodstains appeared on Nezuko's neck like a swan's neck. A few drops of blood flowed down Nezuko's neck and into Siki's hand, shining like a ruby. But Siki noticed the blood in his hand, and said hypocritically, "I'm sorry, I haven't seen such a pure girl for a long time, so I can't help being a little excited." However, at this moment, a scene completely beyond his comprehension happened. I saw that the few drops of pure blood that appeared on his fingertips started to burn like a flame. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, a few small drops of blood instantly turned into a huge flame that enveloped Sikyi in it. Naturally, Hae-Yuming also saw this good opportunity, and instantly opened the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan in his eyes to stare at Sikyi's eyes. As the black pupils in his eyes, like Fuma shurikens, began to turn, Sikyi's expression gradually became full of confusion, and even the sharp claws on Nezuko's neck gradually loosened. Seeing this rare opportunity, Tomioka Giyu, who was frantically playing soy sauce, finally reacted, pulled out the Nichiren blades from Urokodaki Sakanji's waist with his backhand, and rushed towards the sick knight in an instant. Breath of water Hachi-shaped Takatsubo. I saw Tomioka Giyu jumping up high, with a heavy knife accompanied by high-frequency vibration like a waterfall, cutting towards Sikyi's neck in an instant with overwhelming momentum. Seeing that the blade was about to appear on Sikyi's neck, Rokuro, the last player on the sidelines, couldn't sit still anymore. An air bomb mixed with a violent breath instantly appeared on Tomioka Giyu's attack track and blocked the fatal blow. Seeing the second ghost appear, Sikyi is about to escape from Hae-Yuming's control. At this time, Hae-Yuming finally started his action. Finally can't hide it. You dare to hurt the lady in front of me, then you will die here together. Breath of Blood 2 Type Black Dragon Flame. I saw Hae-Yuming comparing his hand to a gun posture, the blood seeping out of the skin gradually condensed and compressed on his fingertips. The terrifying coercion seemed to distort the surrounding space. One after another the flickering black electric light surrounded Hae-Yuming's fingers. What seemed like a long period of time was actually less than a second. Boom! The sound like an electromagnetic cannon fired almost shattered the eardrums of everyone present. A bloody ray beyond the limit of what everyone could see with naked eyes instantly penetrated the heads of Sikyi and Rokuro. Ah! When they were pulled back from the state of tinnitus with a scream, they realized that the two ghosts who were aggressive before were constantly being burned by the flames seeping from their heads. Originally, the most obvious advantage of the ghosts in the confrontation with the swordsman, regeneration, now became the source of their pain. However, even so, their regeneration speed couldn't match the speed of burning their limbs. After less than a minute of burning, the two ghosts still ended their sinful lives in pain. The shocked people were left behind, looking at the place where the ghost had turned into ashes, in a daze. Only left with full of doubts, are they really from the same world? In the forest outside Danyuzi village, the fourth Mukago is running away from Danyuzi village with a terrified expression on his face. Run, that demon is definitely not something we can deal with right now. Unlike the rest of the lower strings, her vampire technique is more of a detective type, and one of its functions is to be able to judge a person's true strength based on a person's aura. If the general combat power of the lower string is compared to 10, then the combat power of the black-haired boy that Kibutsuji Muzan asked them to kill is definitely close to 5, 600 or even 1000. Moreover, what frightened her even more was that the entire Danyuzi village was actually within the perception range of that terrifying black-haired boy. That is to say, if she hadn't been running fast, it would probably have been reduced to ashes by now. And it turns out that her judgment was absolutely correct. Just a second ago, all the rest of the breath of the lower string had disappeared, and if her analysis was correct, she was now the only survivor among the lower strings. Run. However, at this moment, several hands slowly stretched out from her mouth, pinching her head in an orderly manner. Boom! The watermelon burst in an instant, and the juice escaped. It's really useless. I can't even complete the procrastinating task, and it will take some time before I get real immortality. Is Hae-Yuming. Just wait for me. Chapter 25. After being attacked by Lu Shaxian, Tomioka Giyu and his team also realized Kibutsuji Muzan's abnormal behavior. And the previous fat pigeon, after telling Tomioka Giyu about Nezuko and Tanjiro's situation to Ubuyashiki Kagaya, rushed to the crowd again with his letter. To Black Feather, listen to Giyu Yanjin's heroic deeds, with a superhuman attitude, and do good deeds in the world. Shuei-kun and Miss Nezuko are the key to fight against Kibutsuji Muzan. Kibutsuji Muzan's whereabouts have changed drastically again today. I hope you can come to the headquarters of the ghost killing team to discuss the plan to kill Kibutsuji Muzan. Looking forward to your arrival. Pen to paper. Ubuyashiki Kagaya. Quote, although the content of this letter is not much, the information contained in it is very huge. First of all, Ubuyashiki Kagaya has almost initially recognized the identities of Hae-Yuming and Nezuko. If he did not trust them, he would never have done such a thing that might give away the location information of the Demon Slayer Squad headquarters. From this point of view, even Hae-Yuming feels a little admiration for Ubuyashiki Kagaya's courage. Being able to rely on the description of his subordinates, he can comfort his life with a stranger he has never met. With this kind of courage, it is not surprising that he has been able to control the Ghost Slayer Squad and struggle with Kibutsuji Muzan for so many years with an ordinary person who has no power to restrain the chicken. The second news is that Kibutsuji Muzan has almost started to act after realizing that his position was exposed in advance, and this is probably one of the reasons why Ubuyashiki Kagaya is so eager to see him. Feeling that the current situation has changed, after comforting and dealing with the affairs in the village, Tomioka Giyu decided to speed up the trip, and left Tanjiro directly at Yorokodaki Sakanji, and then prepared to take Hae-Yuming and Nezuko away. At the time of parting, everyone bid farewell to the group of them with tears in their eyes. Grandpa, you should come to Daniuzi village often to play. Next time you come, benefactor, you must try our matcha wine. Woo, I'm so touched. Although we haven't known each other for a long time, Mr. Benedict, we will remember your kindness forever. Open black lens bracket ding. The favorability of the villagers of Daniu village has been upgraded to love. Seeing this weird system prompt, Hae-Yuming suddenly felt a chill, and couldn't help but move back a few steps when looking at the villagers' sincere eyes. Cousin Ming, Nezuko, you guys must come back safely. Looking at the crying Tanjiro, Hae-Yuming touched his head with a gentle smile. You have to learn swordsmanship well, cousin, I will take good care of Nezuko, don't worry. Then he took Nezuko's little hand and waved goodbye to everyone. Hey hey hey, Nezuko is finally mine. ... The process of going to the headquarters of the Ghost Slayer Squad, which was considered very troublesome in the animation, became even more troublesome in reality. One by one, the girls in the logistics team, wearing black ninja costumes and black masks, covered their eyes and mouths and carried them behind their backs. After passing around for half a day, Hae-Yuming almost fainted before arriving at the Ghost Killing Squad base camp. Recalling this unbearable experience, his throat would subconsciously wriggle as if he was about to spit it out. He will never experience this kind of experience a second time. It was even more painful than fighting Kibutsuji Muzan. Compared to the pale Hae-Yuming, Nezuko's reaction was much more normal. Seeing that his cousin Ming was not feeling well, he gently touched Hae-Yuming's back with his hand. Okay, cousin Ming, don't be uncomfortable, it won't be uncomfortable if you touch it. Seeing Nezuko's serious face, cute Hae-Yuming's heart almost melted. Sure enough, Nezuko is the best. However, when Hae-Yuming, who was enjoying Nezuko's loving touch, was indulging in Nezuko's ultimate cuteness, an inappropriate voice sounded from behind the two. Where did you come from, little brat? Go away, don't block my way. I saw a man wearing a white dress with a black collar showing his chest, a white hedgehog head, a huge X-shaped scar on his face, and a hand on the Nichiren blades around his waist at all times. He is not as tall as Hae-Yuming. The man was standing impatiently behind Hae-Yuming and the other two. As soon as Hae-Yuming heard the sound of beating, Hae-Yuming immediately knew the identity of this little man, Shinazugawa Sanemi, the pillar of the Ghost Killing Squad. This is the bastard who dared to stab my lovely Nezuko in the original plot. Although it was later forcibly whitewashed in the comics, but the fact that Nezuko was hurt by others, Hae-Yuming absolutely has no way to tolerate it. Hae-Yuming didn't back down if Shinazugawa Sanemi asked them to make way. Short, can't you walk beside me? Ha, kid, do you know who you're talking to? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.